From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
MTN Sports' Grace Lawrence here in UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio. And coming up in sports, I'll have your highlights on Montana State men's first four-in game.
Last Friday, the National Association of Realtors announced a settlement agreement paying $418 million to home sellers. I'm Cassidy Powers, here to tell you how that's going to affect our local market.
I'm Joe St. George in Washington. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday decided to keep interest rates the same again. So is any housing relief on the horizon for potential home buyers? We go in depth next.
And a band with Montana roots taking the stage at Bozeman's filling station and giving back to the community, all at the same time. Alrighty, it is 6:31 on this Thursday morning. Jane McDonald and Matt Elwell
Gave
with
the
you.
snow a complex, didn't we? We called it
did.
big fat flakes and
Yeah, well,
didn't appreciate it.
No, didn't appreciate it, but
I get it.
I mean, what can you do? We call them as we see them.
That's
you know,
right.
we just call the shots.
This is my favorite couple of days of the year, and I'm pretty sure our bosses and managers know that they're not getting much out of me after about 10 a.m.
Right. It's just kind of that season. You know what I mean?
So,
yeah.
Exciting. Sad that Montana State lost their game as a heartbreaker. We have more on that, of course, coming up here in just a few minutes.
Yep.
Temperatures this morning are cooling down. We do have some snow trying to move into the area. 32 right now in Belgrade. This system is just driving its way through, and I talked about this earlier. The models are doing okay with this. I think the amounts are spot on. The timing is a little tough as this is just racing through. This is our ICAM on the campus. It is snowing pretty good. Visibility is down for the morning. Leave some extra time. Now this is going to be a system that we drop a lot of snow. A lot of this is going to melt, but it's coming down fast enough that we get some accumulating snowfall. We've already had some snow in Butte. Right now it looks like things have tapered. We may get another shot or two of snow through the morning. Sneak peek, we have more snow on the way. I'm going to talk more about that, of course, in just a little bit.
All right, thank you very much, Matt. Now, right off the top this half hour, we're going to take you over to Dayton, Ohio, where our Grace Lawrence has all of our highlights from last night's MSU game.
MTN Sports' Grace Lawrence here at UD Arena in Dayton, Ohio for the number 16 seeded Montana State men taking on Grambling State, fellow 16 seed, in their first four-in game. Winner gets top seeded Purdue in Indy in the round of 64.
Sophomore forward Brandon Walker, early first half, a little ISO ball from the wing, breaks through the double team and puts the ball in the hole. Here's a pair of back-to-back threes. Junior forward Brian Garacki, that's good from deep. And redshirt senior guard Robert for the third with one of his own. Cats have the 42-33 lead at the half. Let's jump into the second half, under 10 minutes to play, and Grambling State starts to get on a run. Jamel Kofer cuts the rim with the defender on his back and takes the lead for his team, 60-59. But grad transfer John Olmstead doesn't want his college career to end. Slam dunk for the big man. Grambling's up 65-61, but Ford won't let his team give up. An and one for the Big Sky Tournament MVP. Ford with the bang. This three gets the game tied up 70 all. They take a 2-point lead, but Grambling's Kofer can't miss tonight. Ties it up at 72, and we're headed to overtime. Grambling State just punching the ball down low. Tremichael Moten gets the tough lay-in to fall. Tigers take a 78-75 lead in extra time. But Ford just not letting the Cats go away. Makes his three to keep them in it. Eventually, Grambling State does pull away. This putback dunk will ice the game. Cats fall in a heartbreaker, 88-81. Their season comes to an end in Dayton. Grace Lawrence, MTN Sports.
Thank you very much, Grace. And the woman accused of driving under the influence resulting in a crash that killed a Manhattan teenage girl will be seen in court today for a bail modification hearing. Lily LaRoque is charged with vehicular homicide while under the influence, killing 17-year-old Delaney Doherty. This will not be LaRoque's first bail hearing since her initial appearance. Due to the severity of her crime, Gallatin County Attorney Audrey Cromwell is disappointed in the string of bond modification hearings.
So in this case, we wanted that bond to be maintained at $500,000. We didn't want it to be at $150,000. And it's very disappointing going into this hearing tomorrow that there's a chance that could be decreased.
County Attorney Cromwell said that the decision to hold this hearing did not come from the defense team or her office, but from Judge Andrew Bruner. MTN will have a reporter in the courtroom, so stick with MTN online and on air to hear the developing details as we continue to cover this case. And the National Association of Realtors is switching up the business model that we're used to with a new set of rules. Our Cassidy Powers spoke with the Gallatin Association of Realtors to discuss how that's going to affect our local market.
Last Friday, the National Association of Realtors announced a settlement agreement to end landmark antitrust lawsuits. They also passed a new set of rules that will change the way home buying and selling will be forever.
So the settlement is a good thing for us overall. It is getting things put to bed in a more settled manner.
Cindy Siggs is the CEO of GAR, Gallatin Association of Realtors. She explains that GAR has been involved in some of these antitrust lawsuits since October. She says the $418 million settlement will have positive effects. She also has high hopes for some of the new rules.
Something we've always advocated for, which is signing buyer agency agreements. Now that's going to be required every time they go to show a home and they're working with a buyer.
Just one of the new rules passed by the National Association of Realtors. But the rule that has most people in question? The end of the 6% commission.
There has never been a 6% or a standard.
Yes.
I have seen commission rates way lower. I've seen commission rates higher than that.
According to Scripps News, the 6% commission is gone. But what does that mean? Let's break it down. If you have a 6% commission, typically 3% goes to the buying agent and 3% goes to the selling agent. This new rule decouples the commission, meaning buyer and seller agents will now have to be paid individually, giving the selling agent more power. So what does this mean for the buyer agents and how will they adjust their business model?
I know people will look at, are they going to do flat fees? Will they be charging by the hour for the amount of work they do? So there's a lot still being figured out and how to work those models.
This uncertainty is expected to affect the buyer realtor market, potentially making it more competitive.
The concerns are, what if they don't choose to use an agent, those buyers out there?
Luckily for buyer agents, the settlement won't be approved until mid-July, so realtors and home buyers have plenty of time to figure out their new models. And even though many experts are predicting home prices will drop thanks to the new rules, only time will tell.
I don't know that we will necessarily really see it bringing those home prices down. I just don't at this point.
In Bozeman, Cassidy Powers, MTN News.
And the Federal Reserve has again decided not to cut interest rates, citing a concern that inflation remains slightly higher than economists would like to see. Now, of course, this decision greatly impacts your pocketbook, from your credit card to your real estate. So our Joe St. George is going to take a look at when you may be able to count on changes in housing policy that could help more Americans buy a house.
If you or a loved one is trying to buy a house in this country, there's a good chance that you're feeling a bit frustrated. Frustrated with high prices, maybe even more frustrated with high interest rates. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday again decided to not cut interest rates. So when will any housing relief actually come? Potential housing relief change number one, interest rate cuts later this year.
Inflation is still too high.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell Wednesday again said inflation is still a concern, which is why interest rates haven't been cut yet. But the Federal Reserve did signal that they would like to make 3 cuts to interest rates before the end of this year. On the Federal Reserve's website, these are all the dates listed for when the Fed will meet again. So if 3 cuts are expected, that means the first would happen in September at the latest. Many economists believe it will start in June. But the Fed is careful to not promise anything.
We make decisions meeting by meeting.
Potential housing relief change number 2, the outcome of the 2024 election. Both President Biden and former President Trump wouldn't start a new term with a new Congress until January, but both campaigns are stressing a victory would help the real estate market. Former President Trump left office with interest rates around 3% and has said in interviews that he would not reappoint Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Potentially, he could select someone who is more inclined to cut rates. His first administration also pushed less government involvement in real estate. Meanwhile, President Biden in Las Vegas this week pushed a housing plan that includes down payment assistance to some first-time homebuyers and new tax incentives to build more affordable housing. Those plans may not only require him winning again, but Democrats taking control of Congress, too.
Mortgage rates are going to come down as well, but I'm not going to wait.
And potential housing relief change number 3, new structuring of real estate fees. This month, the National Association of Realtors announced a major change in what real estate agents and brokers charge and who pays them. As a result, home sellers could soon potentially pay fewer fees. The price of a home could in theory then decline as a result. As with everything in real estate, where you are buying or selling matters. Joe St. George, Scripps News, Washington.
Now back in some Treasure State headlines, a band with some Montana roots is giving back before they hit the stage Thursday night. MTN's Jolie Salee introduces us to Austin Martin and the Herd and why they are volunteering at local food banks as they're touring across the United States.
It's just like while we're on the rise, it's like we shouldn't have to wait, to be at a certain pinpoint spot to help other people. So let's just do it, on the way up. What better time than now, right?
Let's go bag some noodles.
When you think of rock star or country rock star activities in this case, you don't think of volunteer work at a local food bank. But for this band, it's a part of the job. This past year, Austin Martin and the Herd embarked on their very first headlining tour across the U.S. They'll be stopping in 40 different cities, not only to perform, but to volunteer in some way.
Portions of the ticket sales and merchandise we're giving to the food banks in each community that we're in, and then then just bagging groceries for different food banks and stuff like that.
In fact, today they're at the HRDC Marketplace, bagging some dry goods for folks in need.
Is it kind of like a team building exercise every time?
Yeah,
it is.
All the time.
And with 2 members originating from Billings, they say it's a breath of fresh air to be back in their home state.
For me, it's amazing. I love being home. We've been in California, recording and doing shows there, which is fun, but it's always nice to be home,
On March 21st, Austin Martin and the Herd will take the stage at the filling station in Bozeman. For more information about tickets, visit our website. In Bozeman, Jolie Salee, MTN News.
Thank you very much, Jolie. It is 6:42 this morning. We're going to take a short break here on Montana this morning. But when we come back, well, the Cats' time during the dance may be over, but that doesn't mean that they don't have a lot to be proud of. When we come back, we are going to have all your top headlines. Plus, MTN's Grace Lawrence sat down with coaching staff Matt Logie for this special feature. You won't want to miss it. We'll meet.